How you doing, everyone? It's Kevin. I'm back with another video. Wild Badger reached out to us again to ask us if we'd like to do another review on another weed eater. So we have the 40-volt Wild Badger 4-in-1 Weed Whacker here. We actually, it's a weed whacker. Use it as a weed whacker. Or you can use it as a brush cutter. Or you can use it as a pole saw. Or a set of hedge clippers with a pole, which that's nice. It's got a tall set of hedges you can't reach. This guy's going to reach it. Now listen, before we get started here, I did do a video on how to assemble this thing, to put it together. And don't forget, you guys, put your grease in your grease fittings on your machine. There's 3 of them here. None on the weed whacker head, but there's 1 on the chainsaw and 2 on the hedge clippers. So go ahead and get that grease in there and make sure you find some good quality oil to put in your chainsaw. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this thing out and we're going to run it a little bit and give you our opinion on what we think about the 4-in-1 Weed Whacker from Wild Badger. So let's get this started. Okay, we're going to try the Wild Badger on this bank. I like to keep this bank cut, keep the snakes away. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a try and see how much of this bank we can get done before this battery goes dead. Let's give it a shot. Okay, we got the whole bank done. From here out, it's about 60 feet. Not too bad, about maybe, I'd say maybe close to 9-10 feet wide the bank is. And we got it cut fairly easy. I did like the weight of the weed eater. It's not heavy at all. It's actually pretty light. The head feels a little heavy because this here gets heavy because there's a lot of grass clippings up under here. So that's something we want to keep clean to keep some of the weight down off of the head of it. And don't forget, when you're weed eating and you're doing a bank or something like this, keep the string out. Don't cut it down to your strings that big because you're not helping yourself. You want that string to be all the way out to where it cuts it off. That's the best way to cut because that gives it more speed when it comes around to cut the grass. So the further it's out, the more speed you got. Now don't come in and think you're going to take the head off because that's not a good idea. Don't take this protective shield off. That's not good. That you could get hurt. So the weed eater did really well. Balanced nice. The strap worked good. I like the strap. Now let's see how much battery we used. Let's see. Can you see we're still on 3 bars on that battery? Let's check this battery here. 3 bars on that battery. We used 1 bar. 3 on that one and 3 on that one. 1 bar did all that. Now we have a pretty good sized test we're doing because we are doing a review on this thing. So we're going to be using different attachments as we go. So that was the weed eater part, and I think it did really well. I really do like this so far. The next piece we're going to test is the hedge clipper. And don't forget, put your grease in your fittings. You got 2 fittings on this hedge clipper. Go ahead and put some grease in there. It doesn't take much. Go ahead and put it in there. So I don't have a lot of hedges here at the house to cut. But I do have something up there I want to give it a try on. I've been wanting to trim up a pine tree. So we're going to take the hedge clippers and we're going to see if it'll trim that pine tree up. I think that'll be a good test for this machine. So we're going to go ahead and mount the hedge clippers onto our weed eater motor. If you haven't watched the video where I had put this wild badger together, I put all the stuff together. That's what you got to do before you can up and run it. You're going to see I did some pretty good video on this. You need to twist this little knob right here. This goes down. You want to pull it up and twist it over so you can slide your next piece in. And we're going to be using the hedge clippers. So we want to push that in there. And then twist this little lock and it will lock into place, and then tighten this knob here. Just to make sure these guys work freely, we're going to put a little bit of oil on this just to make sure everything's going to work good. It never hurts to oil your blades. Go ahead and turn them on. Let's get them. Alright, that looks good. We're going to work with that. Alright, we haven't changed the batteries. They still have 3 bars on the batteries. That one. And that one right there, as you can see, they only have 3 bars. We're going to take this and we're going to go up and see if we can trim up this pine tree. Let's go see how it works. Okay, this is the pine tree. We want to try to just nip off some of the long limbs on it, just to kind of straighten it out. So let's give our hedge clippers a try. All right, I think it worked okay. I'm not so sure it's meant for this type of tree. It seemed like it was clipping better if I got into where it was a little bit not so flimsy. I have to be honest with you. This guy works a lot better on big stuff than it did the little stuff. Just my opinion. That would be nice to go around the fence line just to cut off limbs, or around your yard, limbs that are hanging out, briars, that type of stuff. Looks like it might be good for that. All right, we did the tree. We're still on 3 bars. We didn't do much hedges with it. We didn't do many hedges, so we're still on 3 bars. Now the next thing I want to try out is the chainsaw. Now I've already filled this full of bar and chain oil, and I want you guys to make sure you put a little bit of grease in your fitting here. Just take your grease gun and give yourself a couple little pumps in that grease fitting on the top of this thing. You don't have to go crazy with it, but just put some grease down in there. Make sure you grease that and then wipe it off. Okay, so now our chainsaw is ready to go. We got oil in it and we greased that fitting. Let's go ahead and mount it into our weed eater. Don't forget, we got to pull up and twist this guy, this piece here. Take your plastic cover off. And then what you want to do is put these back on every time you're done using them. Put them back on your pieces that you just got done using. So let's go ahead and slide this one in. Turn your little locking thing. You can hear it click in. And tighten your knob here. We're going to take our little safety cover off here. And we're going to run this just a few seconds to make sure everything is running smooth. What I'm going to do with mine is I'm going to put just a little bit of oil on the outside of this guy, and I'm going to let it run down, and then we're going to pull the trigger. Then we'll go back and wipe off the excess. Be careful, that blade is sharp. Alright, so our chainsaw is ready to go. My grandkids have been asking me to trim a couple limbs, so that's what we're going to do. Well, this is the tree the grandkids have been complaining about. They said that this limb over here, when they swing, they're hitting it. So I'm hoping this pole saw will reach up high enough to cut enough of that off they won't be complaining no more. So I'm going to start with a small limb first, like this one. You know, there's one thing I love about these pole saws. They work great. Wow. And that thing does work good. We might as well trim a little extra while we're here. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys, listen, the chainsaw is awesome. I love the chainsaw. I actually did a review on their other 4-in-1, the gasoline one, and I loved the chainsaw then, and it's no different here. Actually, I may like this one just a little bit better. It feels a lot lighter to me, and I'm not putting gas in it. As you can see, it cut pretty good, but don't go crazy, because guess who's got to pick all them limbs up out of the yard? Yeah, me. So I'm not going to cut too many, but I do have another tree over here. Every time I'm running the riding mower, those limbs are hitting me. So I'm going to go over on that side of the yard and clip a few more over there. But first, we got to get all these picked up. Well, I shouldn't hear any more complaints of the kids. I think it's far enough away from the swing it won't hit them. Those won't hit us in the head no more. We'll go get them cleaned up now. Inspector Sophie, yep, right there. Always checking out my jobs. Now when you bring your saw back in, go ahead and clean it up. And if your blade looks like it's loose, go ahead and retighten it. Every so often you have to tighten your blade. So we have ours all cleaned up and ready to go for next time. We're going to go ahead and unhook this guy. It's pretty simple, man. This is a nice setup. So we can pull that out of there. Go ahead and put your cap back on here, because these rods will come out. You have to be real careful with them. Put your protective cap back on. Put our cover on our saw. So this saw is ready to go for the next time the grandkids got a tree limb in the way and they want Pap to clean it up. This is what we'll be using. So the only thing we haven't used yet is the brush cutter. So we're going to go ahead and get this hooked up with the brush cutter. And like I said, if you guys haven't watched where I put this together, I show you all how to put all this stuff on, like your brush cutter for one. Once you get your Allen key, find your little hole, go ahead and stick it down in there and loosen your head. Pull it off. I like to kind of keep mine clean. Now, I showed everybody on the video where I put it together is to put a wire through here or a piece of string and hang this on your pegboard. Because without all these little pieces, you can't put this brush cutter on. You need these pieces. If you throw them on the counter somewhere and somebody misplaces them, guess what? You're not going to be using your brush cutter. So if you put them on this, just like I tell you, you'll thank me later. Mounting the brush cutter on is actually simple. Once you get your head off, go ahead and slide your brush cutter blade on. Now, you can do this either way. You can have it this way or you can flip it over because both sides of this blade is sharp. Then you're going to put this piece here on, this big heavy washer, cupped in. It goes down. Then you're going to put this on there, another washer, put it on the top of there, and now put your nut on. Don't forget, counterclockwise. Use the wrench they provided you and tighten it up. Pull your Allen key back out, and our brush cutter is ready to go. So let's go try this brush cutter. Okay, this is right below my garage. My shop is sitting right here to my right. We're going to do a little bit of brush cutting down here because this wants to keep creeping in on us. And I got some raspberry bushes down here I wanted to cut around. So we'll give it a try and see how the brush cutter is going to work. Now we got 3 bars on here, so that's what we got. have to watch because these are berry bushes and I don't want to kill them. So I'm kind of going around them. Raspberries. Raspberry bushes. As you can see, it cuts pretty good brush too. Let's see what our bars are. We're still on 3 bars here and still on 3 bars there. So we've done this whole test, this whole review so far, and only used 1 bar on this weed eater. That's a pretty cool weed eater. Looks like it got a couple ears on it. It's an awesome weed eater. Alright, that was the Wild Badger 4-in-1 Weed Whacker. I don't know about you, but I really like this thing a lot. I really enjoyed using it. It wasn't hard. The quick attachments are great. I've had no issue putting it together. And listen, I'm going to leave a link at the top right here. If you want to watch this thing being put together, if you think you can't do it, watch that video. I'm sure you can. You'll have no issues putting this thing together. My personal opinion on the Weed Whacker, just me. Of course, I love the brush cutter. I love the weed eater. I love the chainsaw. I can't say much for those hedge clippers because I don't have hedges. But if you wanted to go around a fence line, or you got some vines and stuff that might be creeping in your gutters or creeping over on your house and there's small limbs, instead of using a chainsaw, I think it worked really good on the heavier limbs. I thought it worked really well. I was using on a pine tree and it just wanted to push a lot of the limbs over because they were really flimsy. It was like when the needles were sticking out, it wanted to not go in and cut the limb off. That's what it felt like to me. But when I started cutting the branches on the edge of the yard, it worked really well. So, yeah, I really like this thing a lot. And I think Wild Badger's going to get a little disappointed in me, because I like it better than I do the gas one they sent me. This thing is awesome. It's so much lighter. I do like the strap on it. The strap works great. No issues with that. It's well balanced. The head is not really heavy. I think the plastic cover is a little big, but you know, you want to keep that on there for protection. So yeah, I like it. Listen, I'm going to leave a link in the description down below. If you guys are interested in it, check them out. And I don't think we're going to go wrong using this setup. So I would like to tell everyone, thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave me thumbs up, thumbs down, or a comment if you'd like. Until next time.